Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, if not, welcome. Thanks for stopping by and looking at this video. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about I'm going to Fort Worth, by the way, but we're going to talk about how to manifest your Corvette. And to some people it's going to sound silly, other people it's going to make 100% sense. Some people's going to care, some people's not going to care. Hey, it's a free country. You know, it's up to you if you want to believe what I'm about to tell you. But when you want to manifest something, and for years, just to give you some context, I wanted a Corvette since I was a little itty bitty kid. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, I don't want to bore you, but I wanted a Corvette and I knew that's what I wanted. That was one of my accomplishments. And I said, as I got older, because I'm almost 60 now, I said, man, I'm never going to get a Corvette, you know. And everybody in my family knew that was my dream car, and I wanted it. But I started thinking one year, this is the year I want a Corvette. I've had many Camaros, I've had many Mustangs, and you know, Corvettes and Mustangs, Corvettes and Camaros pretty much have the same motors. So, but it doesn't have the same suspension, and it doesn't have the same chassis. You know, it's not lighter like a Corvette. A Camaro is very heavy. It's you know, it's about 4,000, 3,700 pounds, something crazy like that. And anyways, I had a lot of Camaros. I loved them, but it just wasn't a Corvette. And let me tell you this about you Camaro guys. I'm going off track a little bit, but I just want to say this. You can never, ever doubt that a Corvette isn't a V6 or a V4 or a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. You know, when you see a Camaro, even a Mustang, you're like, whoa, is it an 8? Is it a 5.0? Is it a 4.6? Is it a 6-cylinder? Is it that 4 with the turbo? You can never, ever, like I said, ever doubt a Corvette. You know it's always going to be a V8. 100%. It's going to be a 350 or more. You know, that's a fact. And so one thing I've noticed once I got my Vette, I don't race anymore. I don't go fast. I mean, I can, but I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anybody. If I got a Camaro and a Camaro pulls up next to me, or a Mustang, hey, you know, let's race, you know, to prove to them I got a V8. I don't do that anymore. I don't have to. It's a freaking Vette, you know. But let's go back to the manifestation. You have to do a couple of things specifically. And the first one is visualize it in your head. Visualize yourself driving that Corvette, sitting in it, you know, changing gears if you want a, you know, a 4-speed, 6-speed, whatever, a standard. Visualize yourself in that car, driving it. I'm doing it. That's the first thing. Once you convince yourself that you belong in a Vette, you deserve a Vette, you need a Vette, you want a Vette, then you got to go shopping for them. I don't care if you don't have any money in your pocket. You got zero money in your pocket. There was this Corvette in San Antonio when I would go visit my mom. Excuse me. Every time I would go to San Antonio, I would go by and see that Vette. And then I would just drive by it. Then eventually I stopped. And then eventually I talked to the man that owns the lot, and I said, I'm in the market for a Corvette, even though I didn't have 2 cents in my pocket. And he showed me the Vette, he turned it on, did everything, you know, and it was the first time in a long time that I sat in a C4. You know, actually I've never sat in a C4. I've sat in C3s, I've sat in C2s, but never a C4. And I didn't know that that's what I wanted. I didn't know. I just wanted a Vette. I don't care what year, how old. I didn't care how wrecked it was. I don't care if it needed paint. I don't care if the whole inside was burnt down. I just wanted a Vette. Okay? So, when I sat down in that 40th anniversary ruby red C4 Corvette, and then I said, okay, well, how much is it? Then he hit me with the price. $6,900. But I'll take 65. I was like, holy crap, is that it? I thought it was going to be like 10,000, 11,000. Everybody on the internet saying that C4s are 10,000 and above, even the crappy ones. And I'm thinking, this man's selling me this for $6,500. I said, well, if I can find this for $6,500, 40th anniversary, I can probably find a cheaper one. So that enthused me, and I started looking on the internet, Facebook Marketplace to be exact, when I got back home. And I started looking at Corvettes. Okay, so I did the second thing. I sat in the vet, and then I said, man, I fit in this. I fit great in this. I'm only 5'5" on a good day, 5'4" when I'm feeling really old, and 5'3" when I can't even walk. Because I'm a tennis instructor and I get sore a lot. So my back hurts, everything hurts, and so forth. But anyways, I fit perfect in the Corvette. The legs, you know, the seat, the height. I didn't feel cramped. I felt like this car was made for me. So once I did the second thing, first one was visualize it, convince myself I deserve one. Second one was sit in it, start shopping for it, even though I didn't have money. Now, the third one was start hunting, start looking and seeing. Then I started finding vets for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. And of course, some were running, some were not, some were horrible. Some were in terrible shape. And I said, I don't care. As long as the transmission's good, the motor's good, and idles, doesn't turn off, I want that vet. And I was thinking $3,000, $4,000. So I started looking and looking and looking. Then one day, while I had, you know, like 5 favorite vets that I liked. And then one day I saw this Corvette. And it was out in the boonies, you know, like a farm find type of thing. I could tell. It was beautiful. And it just appealed for me, and I didn't know why. I don't know why it appealed to me. But I said, I like this vet. And then I told my son-in-law, I'm going to go look at this vet, you know, da-da-da. We went out there and looked at it. I went by myself the first time. And I fell in love with it. But the guy wanted $6,000. And I was like, well, you know how it is. If you ask for $6,000, you probably take $5,000. And me and my wife had about $3,000 here and there saved up, loans that I could get, you know, to make it happen. But we only had $3,000. And so I said, okay, whatever. So I started thinking, let me call the guy and see what's the least he would take. And then he said, yeah, I'd take $5,000. I said, really? Okay, let me see what I can do. So then I started moving this and that, and you know, the 15th came up. We never have money on the 1st because of rent. We're a paycheck to paycheck type of family. So then on the 15th, had a little bit more money left over, so we're at like $3,500. And then I'm like, well, I could probably borrow from doing this and that, and you know, then my mother, you know, she helped with another grant. My dear old mother, I'm not afraid to admit it. Mommy helped me, my wife helped me, but that's what it is. You come together, and somehow, some way, you can figure this out. So they knew how much it meant to me, and next thing you know, we had about $4,000. You know, about $4,500. And so I called them up and I said, well, let me go look at it one more time. And I did, and I said, man, I really love the vet. Then I told them I'm a former Marine, it's my dream car, all this stuff. I wasn't trying to beat them down, but I was just like, I can't afford it. I really love the car. Then he told me, well, I bought a Dodge, you know, Scat Pack, whatever. You know, it's a fast car. He doesn't drive the Corvette, just sitting there. And then him and his dad, I talked to his dad. His dad was really cool, and I think his dad had something to do with it. But they ended up calling me and said, well, we'll take $45,000. And I said, look, I hate to tell you, I don't have that, you know, I'd have to wait another 2-3 weeks for that extra $500. But I have $4,000 right now. I mean, do you want me to give you that to hold it, or give you $2,000 to hold? And then he said, well, let me call you back. And then we're texting back and forth. Something touched this guy's heart. He was a young man, you know, in his 20s. And he had all these nice cars, and he worked for Peterbilt, painting trucks. I mean, clearly they had money. They didn't need money. And clearly something touched his heart. And then he said, I will give it to you for $4,000 if you can come today. Man, I couldn't get there fast enough. I called my son-in-law, my daughter. We went down there. It was in Decatur, Texas, past Decatur, and then I bought it and I drove it back. And yeah, it had a little bit of issues in the beginning and this and that, and I've had to change out the intake, what is it called? Gaskets. But long story short, she's up and running perfect. She's got AC, runs great. I got no problems with her. I love her. I mean, and I got the vet. But that's my story on manifestation. I hope that wasn't too long. But if you want something, put it in your head, go and touch it, feel it, sit in it, do it, whatever it may be. And then start shopping like as if you have the money now, like you deserve it. And then come up with a plan. And then you know what? The universe will figure out a way. It will figure out a way to give you what you want. Don't be negative. Don't say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. Just say, I'm almost there. I need to do this, this, and this to get there. Figure out a way to do it in pieces if you have to. But it can be done. And you can have whatever you desire. Now, I've been applying this to other things in life lately, and I'm not bothered or stressed out anymore. I used to take depression pills. I used to take anxiety pills. I've been weaning off of those because I just don't care anymore. You're going to wake up tomorrow no matter what. You're still going to have bills. You're still going to have to pay stuff. You're still going to have responsibilities. You're still going to have life. And God willing, you wake up. And if you do, it's a blessing. And don't stress the little stuff. Okay? I hope this helps somebody. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you for stopping. If you made it this far, please hit like. Please